maybe we will have a discussions, so we can also, what is it, improve our English and also share the knowledge each other. Yeah, while we are waiting, we can still have discussion. Kita tunggu sampai ini ya 1:45, and then nanti bisa dibuka dengan grup yang siap. Mas Billy and Mas Elang, can I, or is it possible to know how many group that already submit the PPT?
Sure,
Halo,
ma'am.
Mas Billy and Mas Elang. How many students? How many groups that already submit the PPT?
Belum ada, Ibu. I'm sorry.
Belum ada?
Yes, ma'am. Belum ada, Ibu. Sorry.
7, ma'am.
Udah ada, Mas Billy? Berapa?
Ada
7.
7. Iya.
7,
Yang
oke.
buku ada grup 1. Kemudian grup 2.
Oke.
Grup 3. 5. Grup 6. Grup 9. Dan grup 10.
Okay. Nah, there are 7 groups today, so we have 7 groups. And then grupnya Raihan, can you see in which group he belongs to, Mas Billy? Raihan, can you please find the name Raihan? He already asked for permission to join. What is it? They will come late, about 1 at 1 o'clock. They will join because they are sitting in an exam. Dia masih ujian sekarang. Ada di grup berapakah? Ada nggak?
Nggak ada, ma'am.
Ada. Control F coba, Raihan. CTRL F Raihan. Belum ada anunya, PPT-nya?
Iya.
Belum ada. Oke, berarti nanti kita bisa kasih kesempatan yang lain dulu. And then, alright. Ini sudah ada sekitar beberapa orang yang udah join. Kurangi 5 ya. Baru ada 8 students. Oke. Ini apakah, halo, dari anak-anak, apakah sudah mewakili masing-masing grup? Grup 1 ada tidak?
Ada, Bu.
Oke. Grup 2? No students. Grup 3? Ada tidak grup 3? No? No student. Grup 4? Is there any students from group 4?
Yes, Miss.
Tidak ada. Grup 5? Oh, ada. Intana. Grup 5?
Yes, Miss.
Oke. 1, 4, 1, 5, 6 ada.
Yes, I
Group
am.
7?
Group 5.
Oke, ada. 7?
Group
7 ada? Grup 7 ada ya, oke. Mbak Fatimah, 8?
I am from group 2.
Oh, grup 2. Oke, Mbak Fatimah grup 2. Oke. Ya, boleh. Next, grup 8. Ada? No. 9? Enggak ada.
I am from group 9.
9? Ya, oke. 9. 10? Terakhir 12 ya? Ada, oke. Oke, kalau begitu saya pikir sudah hampir semua ada wakilnya di sini. So, would you please open your camera to see your face? Because we already record this meeting and we will start in a few minutes. We will start the presentation that will be conducted by Mas Leon and also Mbak Ruth. Hello, everyone. Can you please open your camera so we can see each other? Nah, oke, sudah kelihatan ya sekarang. Oke. Okay. Okay, everyone. First of all, I would like to thanks to the students from SMK Negeri 6 Yogyakarta from the program study of culinary, hotel, and also tourism. I do appreciate you guys that you already have cooperation each other with your friends and also with the students from UKDW so that we can hold this meeting today to present what your idea about tourism in Yogyakarta. And this program purpose has the program purpose is improving our English for daily communication. So you have no reluctance to speak English for daily communication. Hopefully, you can also start to you are not worried or afraid to speak English within your daily activities or when you are in an English class, so you are not afraid anymore. And also when you will conduct or join the examination in LSP, maybe later on in the after class, I mean when you are at the end of the 11th grade, you will also ask for join the LSP program or LSP examination that will be conducted in English. So I think the people that or the students that join this program will have no problems with their English language or as media for communication. And then the second one, I would also I would also appreciate for the students from UKDW for their cooperation so that we can also hold this meeting and also assist the students, give their time and then also their knowledge to sharing the knowledge about the English text and also English conversation and also another related material, and then we can conduct this meeting and have sharing the knowledge related to the tourism. So hopefully the cooperation between SMK 6 and also UKDW will continue later. Okay, now it's time for you students to present what you already write into draft and then you put it into PPT, and now the time to present all about your idea related to the tourism. I think we also read that the title and the topic that you choose is very interesting to discuss. So after the presentation, Mbak Ruth will give the opportunities to two students. Each of the presenter will have two opportunities that the students will also conduct a question and answer. Ya, jadi selama nanti ada presentasi, setelah presentasi satu presenter itu satu kelompok akan ditanya oleh maksimum 2 penanya. Oke. Dan pertanyaannya tidak untuk membingungkan kalian, don't worry, nanti kita akan bantu jawab seandainya kalian tidak bisa jawab, begitu ya. Jadi jangan takut, jangan khawatir, aduh ini saya harus jawab apa. Nanti jawab pertanyaannya akan berkaitan dengan presentasi yang kalian paparkan. Okay, I think that's it for me. Enjoy the presentation and it's nice to have the program with you. If you want to continue this program, I also don't mind to assist you. But if you have another activities, I think this program saya tidak akan membubarkan ya. Saya tidak akan close the group. You can discuss anything. If you got homework or assignment from the English teacher, you can also use that group to have discussion. Or if you want to exploring your English, you can also discuss within that group ya. Jadi nanti setelah mahasiswa OKDW selesai, enggak apa-apa, kita masih bisa lanjut. Okay, I think that's it. Mbak Leon, Mbak Ruth and Mas Leon, the time is yours. Thank you.
Iya, baik. Terima kasih Ibu untuk kata-kata pembuka dan kata sambutannya. Sekarang kita akan mulai acaranya. Alangkah baiknya sebelum kita memulai acara ini, kita berdoa menurut agama dan keyakinan kita masing-masing. Berdoa mulai. Doa selesai. Ya. Untuk memulai presentasi, saya akan serahkan kepada Ibu Ruth. Ibu Ruth, silakan.
Oke, terima kasih Bapak Leon. Jadi sebelum presentasi dimulai, teman-teman, saya ada beberapa rules ya yang akan saya bacakan. Jadi nanti kan ada 10 grup, seharusnya 10 grup ya yang akan presentasi. Nomornya akan saya urut. Jadi dari nomor 1 sampai nomor 10. Jadi grup 1 itu yang presenter pertama, grup 2 presenter kedua, dan seterusnya. Terus waktu untuk masing-masing presenter atau grup adalah 5 sampai 10 menit. Saya akan mengingatkan jika waktunya sudah habis. Dan hanya akan ada satu representatif dari masing-masing grup yang akan mempresentasikan PPT-nya kalian dari masing-masing grup ya. Terus yang ketiga, selama presentasi mohon untuk presenter lain dan peserta lain yang tidak presentasi mohon untuk dimatikan mikrofonnya agar tidak mengganggu fokus orang yang lagi presentasi ya teman-teman. Sampai saya mempersilahkan untuk open mic pada saat Q&A session nanti. Terus yang keempat, jika ada yang ingin bertanya atau menanyakan sesuatu, pertanyaan bisa diketik di kolom chat, mention nama, jurusan, dan pertanyaan yang ingin ditanyakan. Atau kalau misalnya mau nanya direct question, bisa langsung open mic dengan format yang sama, sebutkan nama, jurusan, dan pertanyaan yang ingin ditanyakan kepada presenter. Terus yang yang terakhir, ya, setelah semua grup presentasi, maka nanti mentor akan memberikan feedback untuk para presenter yang sudah presentasi. Baik, begitu bisa dimengerti teman-teman?
Bisa, Miss.
Oke. Alright, thank you. Ya. Baik, kalau begitu langsung grup 1 ya, kita langsung mulai grup 1. Ya, grup 1 silakan.
Good afternoon, everyone. Today we are going to do a presentation on Blossom Temple. Our group consists of Ari, Iva, Latifah, and myself, Jovita. Blossom Temple. For anyone who likes history, Blossom Temple is a historical tourism place that must be visited. Blossom Temple is one of the Buddhist temples located in Bugisal Village, Prambanan Sub-District, Klaten District, 1.5 kilometers to the east of Sewu Temple. Blossom Temple was built in the mid-9th century by Rakai Pikatan for his wife. Considering he was a Hindu, Blossom Temple also got a Hindu architecture. The temple is an ancient building compound comprising of 2 building complexes. Blossom Lord Temple Complex, Lord is a Japanese word that means north, and Plasan Temple Kidul Temple Complex Kidul is a Japanese word for south. Plasan Temple covers an area of 2,000 square meters, with an elevation of 148 meters above sea level. The Tenggok River is located nearby, about 200 meters away. Plasan Temple is surrounded by paddy fields along with vegetation such as banana and corn. Many people are interested in the historical story of Plasan Temple, especially the king and empress who jointly built in this people. People consider this temple is symbol of and romance. So many Brits and Crown want to capture these life stories in this beautiful temple. Furthermore, Plasan Temple is the best place to see sunrise and sunset. Thank you.
Oke, baik. Terima kasih untuk grup 1. Yuk teman-teman, ada yang mau bertanya? Ayo teman-teman, ada yang mau bertanya? Mas Justio atau siapa? Kalau nggak ada, saya yang bertanya ya. Saya ingin tahu, what was your reason to choose this temple? What was your reason to choose this temple to be presented today? Group 1. Apa alasan grup 1 memilih Plasan Temple ini untuk dipresentasikan atau untuk dideskripsikan?
The other members can help Jovita, or maybe in a simple question, what makes Plasan Temple is interesting for you to be discussed or to be presented today?
Yeah, thank you, Bu Idori, for summarizing that.
Mbak Jovita, are you there? Or
Yes,
Mbak
ma'am.
Ari? Ya, boleh dijawab in bahasa. If you have difficulties, you can answer in bahasa.
Member lain dari grup 1 boleh membantu loh, sangat boleh membantu.
Because this temple masih jarang diketahui dan untuk sejarahnya itu menarik dan arsitekturnya juga menarik karena dari sejarahnya candi dibangun dengan Rakai Pikatan dan istrinya yang berbeda agama, itu membuat candi ini terlihat menarik untuk dibuat topik hari ini.
That's cool. Yeah.
Okay, yeah, that's very interesting ya. Terima kasih untuk jawabannya Mbak Iva. Okay, without further ado, let's move on to another group. Okay, group 2. Group 2, please. The time is yours.
Good afternoon, everyone. My name is Fatima Adina. I'm from Group 2. The member is... I'm sorry, this is... ada ralatnya PPT-nya, bukan yang ini.
Boleh dikirim di grup. Dikirimnya kemana Mbak Fatimah?
Billy.
Mas
Mr.
Billy.
Billy.
Oh ya, Pak Billy, sorry. Is it Mbak Fatimah? Is it yours?
Okay. Yeah,
Yeah,
it's
okay.
true. Okay, I'm sorry for the problem. Hello everyone, good afternoon. My name is Fatima Azahra. I'm from 11 Culinary 4. I will presenting about bakpia from Yogyakarta. Bakpia is sort of food made from green beans with sugar mixture wrapped in flour and then baked. In some areas of Indonesia, the food seems liquid or very delicious if it is eaten. Bakpia is known as the pia or pia cake. This cake is the descent of Chinese tauluk pia, which means mung bean cake. Bakpia began to the produce in Patok village, Yogyakarta, around 1948 and was traded in basket without label until 1980. When these commodities began to be packaged appropriately and trademarked with the maker's house number.
Sepertinya kepencet mute ya, Mbak Fatimah.
I'm sorry, I repeat it. Bakpia business was developed rapidly since then and became booming in 1992. There have been some development in bakpia filling, such as durian, cheese, and chocolate too. The famous bakpia store in Jogja or bakpia Kurniasari, bakpia Patuk 75, and bakpia Patuk 25. Thank you. At the last slides, there are some examples.
Maybe lost sinyal. Hah? Sepertinya hilang sinyal Mbak Ruth ini.
Oke, baik, nggak apa-apa. Tapi masih ada perwakilan dari grup 2 ya. We have another.
Mas Billy, can you please turn into the first slide? Who is Mbak Fat? Ya, Farisila. Farisila, are you here?
Mbak Farisila.
Nah, waduh, ini juga barusan live. Kendala sinyal sepertinya.
Okay, yeah, that's fine. That's okay. Sometimes things don't go as we expected, ya. Jadi nggak apa. Alright, thank you, Mbak Fatima. Kalau misalnya Mbak Fatima dengar ya, kita langsung move on aja ya ke grup 3. Ya, grup 3, please. The time is yours.
Oke, Assalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh.
Waalaikumsalam.
My name is Helaisha Nivia from Group 3 in 11 Culinary 1. We will discuss about Sekat 2019 with my group. There are Adisti Gabira and Bening Nurtirta Ayu and Raden Roro Yovita Ageng Pangestu. What we will discuss today. First, about what is the Sekaten Festival, Numplak Wajik. Third, difference about Sekaten 2019. And the last one about Royal Family Exhibition. Okay, the Sekaten Festival is an Islamic celebration in city of Yogyakarta, Indonesia. This festival is also known as Garbek Maulud and is in honor of the birthday of Prophet Muhammad Sallallahu Alaihi Wasallam. Sekaten doesn't only celebrate Muhammad's birthday, but most importantly, Sekaten brings social stratification in Indonesia and brings non-Muslims into religion by fostering a sense of equality and understanding. Sekaten's ultimate goal is the conversion of non-Muslims to Islam. Next slide.
Mbak Hela, are you there?
Yes. Next slide is explained by Bening Nurtirta Ayu, ma'am.
All right.
Two days before Grebek Maulud, the Numplak Wajib ceremony was held in the palace courtyard. Numplak Wajib is a ceremony that marks the start of the process of assembling the Gunungan, a symbol of the king's giving to the people. Later, the gunungan will be paraded and distributed to residents at the Gerbek ceremony. This ceremony is in the form of playing a song using kentongan, etc. The peak of the series of traditional sekaten ceremonies is on the 12th of Rabiul Awal, right on the first day of the Prophet Muhammad SAW, which is marked by the Gerbek Mauludan ceremony.
Next slide. Okay. The 2090 sekaten is very different from usual sekaten. The reason is that in 2019, sekaten without pasar malam was held, which usually enlivened a series of events aimed at improving the condition of the square. And in Sekaten Festival 2090, Hamengkubuwono X is holding a sekaten this year with an exhibition of the royal family or the origin of the village.
Next, in the exhibition, the public can see the residence of the royal princesses, the patrons of Prince Fishgal, and other things that are really fun and can be seen by ordinary people. Even though it can be seen by the public, is still not allowed to take picture of certain spots. Even in every exhibition, it is very tightly guarded so that the public does not damage and take picture of the exhibition. That's our group presentation, and I'd like to thank you.
Okay, there are other documentation from Sekaten Festival 2019. First, the visitors records. It's in Keraton Yogyakarta, and second picture, there is entrance ticket, bracelet as an entrance ticket. Thank you. Are there any questions?
Yes. Other groups, do you have any questions to group 4? No questions? Alright, if no questions, then Mbak Hera atau Mbak Bening deh. Give me the reason why would you choose this topic? Topic, I guess.
Okay. Because in our opinion, the topic of sekaten is more interesting and so that more people will know about it.
Okay, that's all. Atau Mbak Bening ada yang mau ditambahkan?
No, ma'am. Not like.
Okay, all right. Thank you for group 4 for the nice presentation. So we're going to move on. Group 5, please. Group 5, your presentation is on.
Okay. Wait a minute, please. Yeah, okay. Good afternoon, everyone. My name is Trivena Krisnawardani, and I'm from Group 5. So today, I will, So we will read alternately, then starting from me. Group 5 is the member is Albertino Ines, Amarilis Klostarosa, Rafidida Verdelata, and Trivena Krisnawardani. And we are from 11 Hospitality 1. Okay, next slide, please. The Yogyakarta Monument is an iconic symbol of the city of Yogyakarta. This monument was built by the Dutch government after the previous monument collapsed due to the earthquake that occurred at that time. It's located in the middle of Yogyakarta, and its nuances is white and gold colors that symbolizes its specialty. Its age is almost 3 centuries old, that has a deep meaning and kept as the historical records of Yogyakarta. So, please, my friend, read the next. Sorry. Ines, please. Are you here, Ines? Ines.
Okay. Tugu Yogyakarta was found after Keraton Yogyakarta, based on the Yogyakarta Monument, was built by Sri Sultan Hamengkubuwono I in 1755. This monument was later inaugurated by Sri Sultan Hamengkubuwono XII on 3 October 1889. Since then, this monument has been called the White Pall or White Monument.
There are some visitors who usually come here at night with their friend, family, or couple to enjoy the beauty and bustle of Tugu Yogyakarta. Yogyakarta Monument has a symbolic value in the form of a magical line connected to Parangtritis Beach, Yogyakarta Palace, and Merapi Mountain. Along the route from the monument to Malioboro, there are also many angkringan who sell many food at cheap price like sego kucing, wedang jahe, sate keong, etc. Okay, Amara. Next.
Which are usually crowded with visitors. The monument that has become one of the icons of Yogyakarta is now even more beautiful without any cables. While here, usually the activity for tourists to do is selfie. There is a mat. Anyone who takes a happy photo with the Tugu Yogyakarta background will feel homesick and always want to come back to Yogyakarta.
Okay, so that our presentation. Anyone who wants to ask the question?
Yes, anyone who wants to ask question, welcome. Yes. No one wants to ask? Okay, again, I think it's me, my turn. The same question, Mbak Fena.
Yes.
Why do you choose Tugu? Ini Tugu kan? Why do you choose Tugu?
So actually, this is not my what is this? This is not my idea, but my friend's idea. So Dida talks to our member that what if we use the Tugu Yogyakarta to be our descriptive text, and then we are accepted. So yeah.
Saya memilih Tugu itu karena apa ya? Karena itu tuh kayak simbolnya Yogyakarta. Jadi kalau misalnya wisatawan ke sini kan ke Tugu dulu gitu. Kayak Tugu tuh ikonnya Jogja gitu. Jadi saya milih Tugu.
Begitu, baik. Terima kasih, Mas. Mas siapa nih? Mas Raffi panggil atau Mas Dida?
Raffi.
Okay.
Raffi Dida sama aja.
Okay. Oh ya, baik. Terima kasih jawabannya Mbak Fena dan Mas Raffi. It's a very nice presentation that you choose this Tugu as it's the icon of Jogja. Yeah, first time I went to Jogja, I really wanted to go to Tugu because, as what Mas Rafi said, yeah, it's an icon of Yogyakarta. Great. So, thank you. Let's move on to group 6. Group 6, please, the presentation is yours.
Assalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh. Good afternoon, John and everyone. I am Cornelia Dimakrishna. Group 6 consisting of Tata, Cornelita, and Gendis. We will explain about Ratu Boko Temple.
According to historical records, Ratu Boko Temple is known to have been built during the reign of Rakai Penangkaran, or around the 8th to 9th century. Ratu Boko is a Hindu-style temple. It is located nearby Prambanan Temple, approximately 3 km to the south. Ratu Boko Temple is located on Piungan Raya Street, Prambanan No. 2, Katak, Pokoharjo, Prambanan District, Sleman Regency, Yogyakarta Special Region. The entrance gate to Ratu Boko Temple is located on the western part. The entrance gate itself consists of two types of gates, namely the outer gate and the inner gate. The outer gate has a smaller size than the inner gate is the largest gate as it is the main gate.
There are a gate file, Paseban Room, Pon, Pendopo, Pringgitan, Keputren, and Tukev. And you can see this map to Ratu Boko Temple. And then when you enter, can see a map of the venue Ratu Boko Temple. Next slide, please. Many travelers usually wait for the sunset that appears from behind the gate, which is the peak of the most beautiful sunset. Apart from seeing the sunset, the tourists also carry out many activities, including photography, wedding photo, meditation, pilgrimage, doing yoga, and so on. Ratu Boko Temple remains to be opened from 9 a.m. to 5 p.m.
Admission price for children from ages 3 to ages 10 years is 20,000 rupiah. Price for teenagers from ages 11 until 16 years is 25,000 rupiah. And the entrance ticket price for adults from ages 17 years or more is 35,000 rupiah. There is also a study tour ticket that is discounts with a cover letter from school or university. Minimum 20 people is 20,000 rupiah. Well, Ratu Boko can indeed be a recommended tourist spot because it is affordable and can see the scenery that is beautiful in there. I'm sorry. Here are some pictures of activities that can be done at Ratu Boko Temple. Number 1, view of sunset in Ratu Boko Temple.
Number 2, for tourists can also doing meditation and yoga.
Number 3, can be used as a place for photography. Yes, it is true. Ratu Boko Temple has a beautiful, completely interesting place.
Thank you for all group and questions.
Okay, thank you for group 6, yeah, for a nice presentation. I got the very catchy, what is that part there? That is really interesting. So I don't need to ask you why did you choose this, yeah? But I want to ask, oh, but before that, wait, I forgot. Is there anyone who wants to ask from other groups? Group 1, 2, 3. Anyone would like to ask question for group 6? No? Okay, sorry, I was really on fire because, yeah, I like the pictures there. So I want to ask for group 6. Have you guys been to Ratu Boko Temple? Sudah pernah nggak ke apa ke Ratu Boko Temple? Group 6. Mungkin selfie di situ atau ngapain, melakukan hal-hal yang sudah dideskripsikan.
Kalau aku udah pernah ke Ratu Boko, Miss.
Oh ya, Mbak Vena tadi dari grup grup 5 ya, Mbak?
Iya, iya.
Oke, ya terima kasih Mbak Vena for answering that. So, is it really as what group 6 described?
Yes.
A beautiful sunset. Oh, because I've never been.
Yeah, Ratu Boko is, I think that was wonderful because we can, the view of sunset is really, really interesting. And then, meditation and yoga, I think that's true because the atmosphere was relaxed. And then, yeah, of course, can be used as a place for photography.
Ya, karena cantik ya tempatnya. Of course lah kalau misalnya cewek-cewek biasanya suka selfie gitu ya. Nah, okay, thank you Mbak Vena, because I've never been to Ratu Boko Temple before, even until now. Almost 4 years in Yogyakarta, but never been there. Okay, so next, group 7. Group 7. Time is yours.
Actually, I don't have group 7 PPT files.
Oh, okay. Group 7, ada orangnya nggak sini group 7, group 7? No? There is no group 7 here? Oke. Mungkin kita, Bu Widuri, mungkin kita bisa lanjut grup 8 ya. Gimana Bu? Di mute Bu. Kalau enggak grup 7, kalau ada di sini please send the file to Pak Billy.
Di grup 9, Mbak. Karena yang grup 7, grup 8 masih sitting in an exam.
Oh, oke, baik. Berarti kita skip nomor 7 sama nomor 8 ya, Bu?
Yes, langsung 9.
Okay, then group 9, please. Do you have the file, Pak Billy, for group 9?
Yes, we have the file.
Okay, nice.
Okay.
So, group 9, please.
All right. Okay, good afternoon, guys. How are you guys doing? So, my name is Justil Wirapersiawan. I'm from Group 9 that consists of me, Justil Wirapersiawan, Putri Zaskia Handayani, Salsabila Neita, and Alun Meli. And for now, I will explain to you guys and present to you guys about Catur Gatra Tunggal. So, first of all, culture is a word for the way of life of groups of people, that meaning the way they do things can be different groups may have a different culture. A culture is passed on to the next generation by learning, whereas genetics are passed on by heredity, and culture can also be found in every side of life, like names, architecture, religion, language, and how people dress, and etc. And for the architecture, there will be a lot of philosophy effect from the culture that are in Jakarta. There is some of interesting way of build and city placement. So the Catur Gatra Tunggal is form of city placement, which is believed that Kraton can be separated by these 4 aspects. And the first is Kraton Yogyakarta. Can we please see the picture? So here it is. Kraton Yogyakarta can be believed as center of government. And then for the second one is Alun-alun as public space, and Sultan interacted with all of the public. So yeah, and then the third one is Masjid Gede Kauman. Sorry, it's before this. Has a religious aspect on it. And then the last one is Pasar Beringharjo as economic aspect. So that's all for now. Thank you.
Okay, that's all from group 9. Anyone who would like to ask question to group 9? No? No one who would like to ask question? Okay. I guess it's my turn, yeah? So, Mas Justio Wira, or maybe other members, why would you like to choose, why did you choose Catur Gatra Tunggal to be discussed today?
I think just one of the interesting topic, and anyone that not what is it called? I think no one is not very know about this topic, so we kind of have to inform it to you guys. So yeah, we make this topic.
Okay, so because not many people know this, is it the reason? Yeah, and I'm one of them. I don't know this.
Okay.
I don't know this either. But yeah, that's why I like to participate in this Sixtas Speaks Up, yeah. Beside of training you to speak, I got a lot of insights. Apa tadi Ratu Boko Tempo, terus Catur Gatra Tunggal. Yeah, as I say that almost 4 years in Yogyakarta, but I don't know anything a lot. I'm sorry. But very nice presentation, group 9. Thank you, Mas Vira, for answering me.
You're welcome, Miss.
Okay, then move on, yeah, for group 10. I guess last but not least, group 10.
Yeah.
The presentation is on. Yes.
Yeah. Good afternoon, Honorable Mrs. Widuri, students of Duta Wacana University, and the whole participants of today's meeting. First, let me introduce myself. My name is Francisca from grade 11 Culinary 1. I represent group 10. In the group, there are Clara Dewayani from grade 11 Culinary 1 and Fariel Ardito from grade 11 Culinary 3. Before we start, I want to ask something. Preview slide. Does anyone here know where is this?
Not me.
I think it's from foreigners, yeah. It's outside Indonesia. Is it?
No, it's from Jogja. So this is a Blue Lagoon. Next slide. Today I want to present the hidden paradise of Jogja, Blue Lagoon. Blue Lagoon Jogja is one of the tourist objects that is used as a bathing place from spring that emerges from the ground in the pool. It is surrounded by beautiful bamboo trees. Tourists can take a bath because this bath is safe bath, not flowing like a river and wavy like a beach. This tourism object become one of the affordable alternative natural attractions. With affordable price, we can get gazebos, prayer rooms, luggage storage, toilets, and parking areas. Next slide. The tourist location of Blue Lagoon is located in Dalem Village, Pedomartani, Ngemplak, Sleman. If you like nature, I really recommend this place. And that's all from us. Thank you for your attention. That's all.
Okay, thank you, Jopan. Thank you, Mbak Francisca.
Yes.
Namanya hampir sama dengan saya nih, Francisca. Ada Francisca juga. Okay. Well, I don't know this place, as you say that not many people know this.
Oh.
So, how much is the price again? Maybe I would like to come there.
I'm sorry, agak putus-putus.
Okay, harganya berapa? How much is the price?
Just 500. No, 5,000. Yeah, 5,000.
5,000. Okay, that's nice. Anyone who is interested want to ask question to Mbak Francisca?
Can I ask something?
Oh, yeah,
Yes,
Mas Justio, can I ask something? Is there any advantage to bet in there? Is there any advantage like healthiness or what?
The interested from Blue Lagoon. The interested thing.
No, the advantage. Is there any advantage to, like, you get a healthy skin, you get a brighter skin, or what? Is there any advantage to bet in there?
From its water, do you mean?
Yeah.
Justio?
Oh yeah, I know. I get it. I think it's just for wisata with your family.
Okay. Because it's immersed from the surface, so maybe it's more healthy or what? I don't know. But yeah, so it's just for.
Saya pernah baca di salah satu artikel, biasanya pas ada acara apa itu banyak warga yang melakukan permandian di situ.
Ya.
Jadi kan itu memang digunakan untuk pemandian.
Ya. Oke, thank you.
Jadi untuk tempat pemandian sih.
Oke, thank you.
Can I ask something too?
Yes, of course.
Sure.
Okay. So, why this place is called Blue Lagoon? Apa itu? Itulah. Lagoon. Yes, that's right. Thank you. Blue Lagoon, ya.
Saya pernah baca tentang ada sedikit kisah di balik itu, cuman sayangnya saya kurang mendalami lebih dalam tentang kenapa disebut Blue Lagoon. Cuma saya dengar itu saya baca itu dari mahasiswa KKN yang memberi nama Blue Lagoon. But secara dalam saya saya lupa ceritanya seperti apa, cuma sepintas itu diberi dari mahasiswa KKN.
Oh, jadi kayak sekilas tuh nih ditemuin sama sekelompok mahasiswa, nemuin ini terus ditamain jadi Blue Lagoon gini lah ya istilahnya.
Kalau untuk ditemukan saya kurang tahu, cuma yang memberi nama itu dari mahasiswa KKN.
Oh gitu, oke. Thank you.
You're welcome.
Any other questions? Mungkin Mbak Vena itu karena biru kali ya, biru dan apa namanya kan kayak danau gitu ya, makanya mungkin dibikin
maybe.
Yeah, it's very blue. Nice. Any other questions? I would like to
maybe comments, yeah. Not only question, but maybe sometimes comments or something, because as you know, some tourism spots in Jogja, most of them are Instagrammable, as we are know, But later on, well, when we visit or see that place in our di mata kepala kita ketika when we arrive to that spot, it is out of our imagination in the Instagram ya. Jadi sometimes Blue Lagoon-nya ini mungkin seperti biru seperti ini, tetapi nanti mungkin kenyataannya banyak crowd-nya orang di situ, jadi nggak blue lagi but brown lagoon sometimes ya, kadang-kadang seperti itu. Mungkin you have to choose the right time when you visit that place ya. Jadi consider, is it a peak season for the tourist? Jadi kan ada waktu-waktu yang peak season, mungkin saat dia bergerombol dia nggak lagi blue lagoon, but it can be a brown lagoon. And then let's say from the other groups tadi yang bahas Boko, maybe Boko tadi siapa kelompoknya, siapakah yang Boko?
Group 6.
Group 6 ya.
Yes.
Ratu Boko tadi bisa Mas Billy, can you show me the interesting pictures so that makes Mbak Ruth want to visit that place? I just want to whisper some secret about that.
Sure.
Because you have to prepare your condition. You have to be fit, really, really fit, because you have to step for around how many stairs are there, Mbak Vena?
Oh my God, there's so many stairs. Oh,
yeah.
Yeah, I know that.
Enggak puluhan, ratusan maybe ya.
Yes, that's right. There are so many stairs that, like, oh my God, I want to give up.
Yeah, so when we reach the top of Ratu Boko, it means our exhausted has been paid. Ya, jadi mungkin enjoy-nya karena we already exhausted and then we enjoy that that view ya. Jadi tapi untuk yang penikmat wisata itu ada juga yang komen, udah gini aja gitu loh. Sometimes some tourists also give comments sampai atas itu udah gini aja, because itu tadi dia tidak datang pada waktu yang tepat. For example, it is recommended to come nearly sunset ya, tapi dia datang di tengah hari siang bolong dan sudah exhausted sampai atas, so they got nothing gitu sampai di sana. Jadi please consider the time for visiting that place. Begitu. I think that's the comment for the tourist object. Begitu. Mungkin ada yang lain, Mas Billy. Mas Billy belum ada suaranya, baru klik ini saja. Sama Mas Elang boleh. Oh, Mas Varial Ardito want to speak something? Want to say something? Kok raise hand? Halo, Mas Varial?
Ya,
silakan saya kembalikan.
Terima kasih. Yang raise hand boleh, apa yang ingin Anda sampaikan saja. Selagi masih ada waktu. Atau jangan-jangan kepencet doang.
Kelompok 8 sudah balik belum ya? Delapan ada perwakilannya? Kah?
Guru 8 atau 7? Apakah 7? Sudah ada?
7 belum ada konfirmasi. Mbak Ruth bisa lihat di screen ada nama Raihan. Raihan nggak ya? Raihan? Nggak ada ya?
Nggak ada, Bu.
Nggak ada. Ya, silahkan boleh Mas Elang atau Mas Billy kasih komen juga boleh, related to the content or maybe related to the the language that they are used in the presentation or in the draft. Maybe you can put some feedback to them.
Ya, dari saya ya Bu ya.
Ya, boleh silahkan.
I'm so gimana ya, surprise that bahwa mereka banyak yang presenter sebelumnya almost banyak yang membaca teks gitu loh. Jadi saran saya kalau misalnya mau if you want to make the PowerPoint, you just use the what is it, the picture only, and then the point, not like this. Jadi misalnya taruh poin-poinnya saja, jangan seperti ini, kalimat-kalimat seperti itu. It's not appropriate for the PowerPoint, right? Ibu Widuri, bagaimana? Mungkin ada tanggapan lagi? Maybe for the tourism resort, they need the pictures a lot and then explain to us. Mungkin Ibu Widuri mau menambahkan?
Ya, thank you Mas Elang. Mas Billy dulu, Mas Billy. Saya nanti. Atau Mas Leon juga belum ya, Mbak Ruth ini tadi baru buka, terus Mbak Ruth terus nanti.
Ya, Kak Billy, Leon, ada yang betul?
Yeah, I think I agree with Elang because it's like a PowerPoint, but it's like power sentence. So many sentence. So it is good that you provide picture and some point that you can describe that place.
Okay, thank you Mas Billy. Where is Pak Leon?
Ya, Pak Leon.
Yeah, I'm here. Okay. Yeah, from me, I think the presentation is already good. Yeah, although you read the whole text, but the pronunciation, how you deliver the presentation is already good. But menurut Bapak, tadi ada sedikit jeda-jeda yang sedikit lama antara presenter 1 ke presenter 2. Bapak pikir nanti itu bisa diorganisasi lagi supaya mengalirnya lebih lancar lagi presentasinya, seperti itu.
Ya, yeah, that's true. Benar. Mungkin Pak Billy dan Pak Elang itu komennya tadi terlalu wordy ya. Jadi put the points. Mungkin some of you already joins kelasnya Pak Leon, Pak Billy atau Pak Elang, nanti bisa dari PPT mereka itu pointsnya saja. Inti kalimatnya itu apa, and then kalian bisa kembangkan, even baca atau sudah menyiapkan kalimat yang tidak terlalu panjang di di PowerPoint-nya, tapi kalian tulis sendiri, dibuat catatan sendiri untuk dibaca atau disampaikan. Nah, itu triknya supaya tidak terlalu kita seperti baca PPT tapi seperti baca koran gitu ya. And then tapi sudah bagus, intinya nggak apa-apa. Ini kan baru pertama, kita bisa rilis sekarang. Nah, later nanti masih bisa diperbaiki. Kemudian yang kedua, masih belajar juga karena deliver dari first presenter ke second presenter dalam satu grup itu kan kemarin belum dibahas juga, baru emceeing, opening, kemudian bagaimana mendeliver ininya belum. Jadi nanti kalau kita mau habis ini Ines ngomong ya, habis ini Ines. Nah, itu caranya bagaimana? Itu bilang, sebut namanya, Ines, the time is yours gitu. Jadi atau Ines will present the next slide, misalnya seperti itu. Jadi ada perpindahan, nanti kita belajar lagi. No worries, kita sambil belajar. Kemudian yang perlu dicermati, evaluasi yang ketiga adalah ketika describing tadi place ini, ada kalian mention tahun-tahun. Nah, ketika kalian mention tahun, how to speak year in English itu pecah jadi 2. Jika tahunnya itu 1990, berarti 1990, pecah di tengah. Angka depan 19, di belakang 90, 90. Seperti itu ya. Kemudian kalau 2000-an bisa 2000 and something. Kemudian 2021, 2021, itu boleh. Nah, itu yang harus diperhatikan lagi. Jangan dibaca candi itu dibangun tahun 1600 sekian, tapi 1600, no. Menyebut tahun dalam bahasa Inggris tidak seperti itu, tetapi dipenggal di tengah, angka di depan dan angka di belakang yang disebutkan. Itu saja untuk wrap up diskusi hari ini. Saya sangat apresiasi, bagus-bagus semua, beda semua. Even yang dari tourism tadi, catur gatra tunggal tadi, saya mungkin baru baca karena kalian mendalami di dunia industri pariwisata, saya juga baru tahu ada aspek-aspek itu ya, karena itu di pelajaran sejarah juga nggak ada, lebih ke culture-nya, itu sangat bagus. Kemudian di spot-spot objek wisata juga menarik di mahasiswa sendiri yang udah, mungkin Mas Leon, Mas Billy, Mbak Ruth, dan Mas Elang ini bukan warga asli Jogja itu, jadi tahu this is new place di Jogja gitu. Oke, thank you everyone for joining the program. Silahkan Mbak Ruth, boleh di close atau masih ada mau feedback dari anak? Silahkan.
Saya boleh kasih feedback sedikit, ya Kak Alam?
Ini ada yang mau presentasi dari grup grup 4 Ulen Sentalu.
Silahkan.
Atas nama Indira. Atas nama Indira. Apakah ada? Mohon maaf tadi saya sempat potong. Atas nama Indira tadi ada?
Saya, Mister.
Ini temannya siapa ini? Kainaya bukan ini nanti? Silakan. Oh iya.
Iya, sama saya, Miss.
Ya, Mbak Bintang.
Iya, Miss.
Oke.
Ulen Sentalu, silakan. Atas nama Mbak Indira.
Miss, baru azan di sini.
Oke, ya. Bisa dimulai. Grup 4.
Baru adzan, Mbak, sebentar ya. Tunggu sebentar. Jeda 1 menit.
Oh ya, maaf, gue nggak dengar.
Okay, Miss, I will present.
Ya, go on Mbak Bintang.
Yeah, I will present an Ulen Sentalu Museum from Group 4 from Tourism. Ulen Sentalu Museum is a Japanese museum which is located far from the town. The museum is privately owned by Haryono family under the Ulatin Bencong Foundation, located in the Kaliurang area. The museum is near to Mount Merapi. The choosing of the location has something to do with the Japanese belief who consider monography as sacred place. Ulen Central Museum is located in the historical district near the Mexigondo Rest House owned by the village. The name Ulen Sentalu is an acronym of Ulating Bencong Sejatine Tataning Lumaku, which contain meaning as the light of the life journey. The museum is built among the green tree, which made it called Kaswargan Park. After visiting Ulen Sendal Museum, tourists will surely talk about various unique of the museum, which look like an old European castle from the outside. The museum distinctive features are reflected by the architecture, exhibition room, collection with its miscellaneous item, and the guide unique way of narrating the story behind every item. The architecture of the museum is so special that it models European castles from the Middle Ages that are close to Gothic style. The museum takes form of a castle made of piles of dark mountain stones, decorated with many kinds of creepers. Such appearance give the museum unique and distinctive characteristic compared to other museums in Yogyakarta or even in Indonesia. Besides its architecture, the museum display are also amazing since they were designed by professionals and the picture of Lens Salu. Okay, thank you.
Okay, thank you, Group 4. It's Ulan Sentalu Museum. Anybody wants to ask question to Group 4 about Ulan Sentalu Museum? No, no one wants to ask question. Okay, I ran out of question actually. Well, as I know this museum, I've been to Ulan Sentalu. I think this is the only place that I've been there after so long preservations that we had. So, Mbak Bintang, left the meeting ya. Group 4, I'd like to ask the reasons why you choose Ulan Sentalu Museum, because a lot of people know this, I guess. So, what is the reason behind that?
Because Ulan Sentanu Museum has a various uniqueness of the museum, which looks like an old European castle from the outside. Jadi unik gitu bentukannya. Kelihatannya unik seperti istana-istana yang ada di Eropa. Dan sepertinya juga jarang dibahas, jadi pakai materi ini, tema ini.
Oke, karena jarang dibahas dan ya memang bangunannya memang kayak kerajaan Eropa gitu sih. Menarik, tapi juga kelihatan tua tapi kayak ancient gitu ya kalau menurut saya pribadi. Nice presentation. Thank you, group 4. Ya, group 4. Bingung. Habis ini mau ke mana? Group 7 ya, Bu.
Grup
Apa?
8 ada nggak? Grup 8.
Grup 8 ada nggak? Perwakilan dari grup 8.
7 atau 8, benar 7 atau 8. 7 or 8. Coba saya confirm di PC ya. Apakah mereka mau join atau tidak? Kalau tidak kita bisa close saja, bisa di wrap up Mbak Ruth setelah ini sebentar. Coba tanya. Kita tunggu 1 menit lagi ya Mbak Ruth. Kalau nggak respons, nanti dia bisa bikin their own video presenting their topic. Kita bisa komen di grup Speaks Up aja. Begitu Mbak Ruth?
Oke, ya Bu.
Iya, ini kita tunggu sebentar. Grupnya 7 itu grupnya Ariel Alivia sepertinya. Mbak Arinur ada di sini nggak? Students from hotel?
Iya, Bu.
Itu Ariel mau presentasi tidak ya? Do
Baik,
you have any information?
akan saya
PC
informasikan.
ya, coba PC.
Iya.
Oke. Oke, Mbak Ruth sambil nunggu boleh wrap up saja. Kalau tidak confirm kita close aja. Udah sah ini.
Oh ya, baik Bu. Oke. Saya wrap up aja sedikit aja karena menurut saya pribadi, menurut saya pribadi ya saya setuju dengan Pak Lang tadi ya. Kalau misalnya, karena kan itu namanya PowerPoint guys, bukan PowerWord. Jadi PowerPoint, jadi poin-poinnya aja gitu. Nanti kalian yang siapin notes atau gimana, kan karena kita kalau misalnya di depan, beneran di depan gitu kan agak mungkin grogi. Kalau ini kan di balik layar bisa ya. Nah, terus untuk pronunciation. Nah, untuk pronunciation tuh misalnya kayak tadi groom, itu kan groom seharusnya. Terus rapet, seharusnya rat. Jadi ada ujung-ujung ed-nya tuh. Ed-nya tuh jangan ketinggalan, jangan ditinggalin, kasihan ed-nya. Terus tadi saya lupa bacanya gimana, kalian seharusnya bacanya exhibition. Gitu. Memang agak monyong-monyong kalau misalnya bahasa Inggris ini kita harus be the master of monyong-monyong. Karena kayak Cinta Laura gitu ya. Karena supaya pronunciation-nya bagus teman-teman. Kalau misalnya ada teman-teman bilang so Inggris gitu, it's okay. Saya mau pronunciation saya bagus gitu ya, apa-apa. Terus tadi Dutch, bacanya Dutch gitu. Monyong lagi kan, bibirnya Dutch gitu. Agak monyong-monyong memang. Oke. Terus penggunaan tanda petik tadi. Kalau misalnya it's nggak pakai tanda petik, itu berarti kepunyaannya si it itu. Tapi kalau pakai tanda petik, it is jadinya. Jadi subjek ada to be-nya. Kalau misalnya it's nggak pakai tanda petik, karena tadi apa tuh jadi contohnya aja deh, saya kasih contoh.
Possessive pronoun.
Ya, possessive pronoun, betul Bu. Misalnya it's beautiful, terus nggak pakai tanda petik kan, it-nya siapa nih gitu kan? Seharusnya kan it is. Kalau misalnya mau singkat pakai tanda petik, jangan ditinggalin tanda petiknya. But overall you did a great job. I got a lot of references of places to go, maybe after Stipsy, yeah. Thank you, guys. I think that's all from me.
Yeah. Okay, thank you, Mbak Ruth, Ibu Ruth, Pak Leon, Pak Lang, Pak Billy for the time, and you guys, all the students, for joining this program. Hopefully we can all learn together, improving our English to communicate for our daily communication. Thank you everyone and see you for the next program. Bye. Assalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh.
Thank you. See you.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Everyone. Thank you. Bye-bye.
Kak Leon nanti di-share ya.
Oke.
Oke, Bu.
Nanti saya uploadkan di yang channel SMK 6.
Mohon maaf, Bu Widuri.
Iya, Mbak Ari.
Saya sudah informasikan kepada kelompok Ariel. Itu baru merespon, Bu.
Ya sudah, enggak apa-apa. Nanti
ya.
mereka biar buat presentasi sendiri, record sendiri, share di grup biar ada diskusi offline. Enggak apa-apa. Itu live group ya, masih ada sisa 2. Thank you Mbak Ari. Thank you Mas Justino. Ya, bye.
Bye.
Terima kasih, Bu.